That means Lord in his highest form. Like there are, some of you, let's say there's a judge. He's sitting there. When he comes, even if his father is there in the courtyard, when he comes, the father has to rise up. Is it not? Because the judge is the main person in that courtroom. So everybody has to respect, including his father. But that judge, when he goes home, and assuming he has some very small children, 3-year-old, 5-year-old, then he may go home and then he cannot be sitting like a judge in his home like this, right? And then the child will say, Appa, then he will have to go on all four, and then the wife will put the child on the back and then he will go like a horse, right? That means there he is not a judge, he is simply having a wonderful relationship with that child, right? I will do anything for this child. So this mood is what the Lord, when he is personally coming, Krishna, when he comes, he exhibits this wonderful relationship with all of us. So would we therefore want to connect with our Father? Right? That's the big question. Would we want to connect with that Supreme Father in your original relationship? How many of you want to? Okay. Actually, we want to put both hands up. That is why actually when we chant, we are putting both our hands to say, Baba, I fed up, I want to surrender to you, please take me. Please help me, please help me. That's what when you are all chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, this is what we are doing. Simply chanting and dancing like this. Just like how the children, when they are very this one, they immediately raise their hand, right? They want the mother or father to lift them. Right? Why do they think they do this? They are not doing Haribol, right? They just want you to immediately lift them. So our mood is like that to the Lord. Oh my Lord, pick me up. I am suffering here. That's the mood. So the idea is to connect to that Lord, and He is giving us this wonderful opportunity to connect with Him. And that in most sweetest pastime of the Lord is this Damodar Bandhan. I'm not even started, right? But this is very important. We need to understand, right? Why? Okay, there's so many things which happen. I can tell you one story, Damodar. So what? How does it matter? Right? One more movie. So be it. Right? How does it connect to me? How does it matter to me? Therefore, this connection to the Lord, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tektva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. Simple meaning is, one who is able to understand about my birth and pastimes, like my Lilas, perfectly. That means tattva means truth. One who understands in truth, then he is immediately eligible to go back to Nammane, Allirodu Nammane. Illa tildre ille sumane irbe. Now, to show that the Lord is actually coming over here and making these sweet pastimes, and Krishna means what? Do you know the meaning of Krishna?
I think black. Attract.
Black, okay. Attraction. Akarshati iti Krishna. Akarshana, that means attraction. So Krishna means attraction. So he is coming and trying to attract all of us to take us back to God. Right? Because this is temporary. Whatever body I have is temporary. But I have a permanent, beautiful form, like Krishna. I have a very beautiful form. I won't have this white hair there. I will have a very youthful looking body. Always no sickness. How many of us don't want any sickness at all? Right? No sickness, no old age, no birth and no death. Just imagine, permanent. None of us want to die, right? But death will come. If someone can think that I will not die, but that fellow died, this fellow died, that fellow also died, but I will not die. But actually we are thinking like that, we are planning very long. But factually we will have to give up this body. But actually you don't want to give up this body, that is nature. Your nature, your energy, why will you give up? There's nothing called giving up, you are permanent. But because we are stuck in this imperishable body, we have to forcibly leave this and get to another body. But we never die. Therefore, you get that form which is permanent. So Krishna is saying, come there, be with me. And for that I am here to attract you. And he shows that I am God. I am God. So let's look at this one pastime. So once upon a time, in this particular month, this Kartik month, where Deepavali is coming, right? On that particular day, this particular pastime happened. So we will quickly see that. Prabhu, how much time is there for me to more?
30 minutes, sir.
30 minutes, good enough. Okay. So now the Lord was, all of you know where was Krishna born? Mathura, Vrindavan. Okay. So first when he was born, he was in a place for around 3 years, 4 months. That is known as Gokula.
Yes.
Gokula Vana, you take it that way, I think it's Gokula Vana. He was there for 3 years, 4 months. After that, his father moved to another place called Chatigara. From there, he moved to another place called Deep. And then to Kamyavana, like this, finally Nandagram. So the first one is Gokula Vana, he was there. So this activity happened when he was in that place, which means this activity happened when he was not even 3, maximum it could have happened before he was 3 years, 4 months old. That is the state of that child. Maybe much lesser also. Going by the description, you will tend to think maybe 3 years, maybe 2 years, or maybe 1.5 years, whatever. But it happened at that point in time. So that time, Yashoda is the mother of Krishna. You all know that, right? Yashoda is the mother of Krishna. So both of them were sleeping, and on Deepavali day, again in our times, we all used to get up very early. These days, nobody even knows what is Deepavali or when it is Deepavali, whatever. Right? So people get up very early. So like this, that day, Yashoda also got up very early. The child was sleeping there. She just got up, and why she got up early was, when this child is sleeping, I can do some work. Every mother thinks like that. There is no mother here, but that is how the mind works. Because the child is 24/7 troubling the mother. Have you all? Right? We have trouble, right? 24/7 when you are a child. Suddenly you will soil your growth. Be it 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in midnight, the mother has to come and take care of it. And she will not even sleep. Have you ever thought about all this? How much your mothers or our mothers have spent for us? The kind of effort they have put. Now they say, Anna, Irama, Nodana. That's why they can't start on it. Right? Many of us say such very hard words to mothers. But imagine the kind of things that they have done for us all our life. Yashoda was doing something like that. Therefore, she didn't have the time to do other things because when Krishna is awake. So she was trying to do one particular activity, that too also for Krishna. She wanted to churn butter. Because everybody knows that Krishna is very fond of butter. And what was he doing? Stealing butter. So Yashoda thought, why this fellow is going everywhere and stealing and bringing bad name to me? Krishna's parents, how many cows they had? 9 lakh cows they had. But still this fellow goes and steals in someone's house. So she was thinking, I should make the best of butter that he does not go and steal in someone else's house. This was her motive. And of that 9 lakh, okay, I will come to that little later. So her motive was, I want to make the best butter, which is so nice and tasty that the child does not develop taste for any butter from anyone's house. That is her motive. Like, I need to personally make. They were huge aristocratic people. If he has 9 lakh cows, can you imagine how much riches his parents had? So much riches were there and so many servants were there. But Krishna did, his mother thought, I will personally do for this child. Like that she was doing this butter. At that point in time, Krishna woke up. And when he woke up, he was coming, searching for the mother. He was very hungry. Where is this mother? Where is she now? Very irresponsible mother. I am so hungry. But where is she now? No, you need to feed me, no? Children have the immediate better of giving milk. But Krishna was lying there hungry and mother is there. And she was actually churning milk like this, stirring the curd and then trying to get butter out of it. And then he actually comes walking in a very wobbly way, gets up crying and coming to drink. As he comes and sees his mother is doing this activity. He comes and holds that churning rod. Right? She holds this churning rod and stops his mother activity. Acharyas have given beautiful commentary. Churning means, how do we see this? Churning. All of us think about this word churning. What is churning? Generally, when you say some ideas, when you churn your ideas, what is the meaning of that?
Bringing best out of something.
Hmm?
Bringing best out of something.
Bringing best out of something. Some more things.
Lot of things is there. The main points coming out of it.
Yeah. There are so many things to think about, and then you try to, within that, you come to arrive at something very strongly. That means, brainstorm, whatever. You are contemplating, right? Looking at so many things and trying to get out of like one thing. So like this, when she was churning this butter, basically to churn that butter to get that curd, to get that butter. Like, when you churn so much of butter, only so much of curd, when you churn, only so much of butter will come. So like this, when she is churning, Krishna is saying, in a spiritual context, when you think of spirituality, what all you think? How to understand spirituality? Generally, what are you trying?
To help others.
Okay. Then, how do you try to understand spirituality?
Read books.
Huh?
Read books.
Read books. Very nice. Right? You read books.
Whatever one does, one have to be gracious to the Supreme and do for serving others.
So, how do you understand all of these things? What is your process of understanding this? Right? You will say like some of them will read books, someone will say Osho has said this, Osho, let me go Osho. Some will say I will do yoga to get this. Some will read some, like some Bhagavatam, these people are saying ISKCON fellows, let me go and read that Bhagavatam. But Bhagavad Gita, is very important, let me read. So all of these people are trying to understand, I told you, who are you, right? Who am I? And who is that Lord? Why I am like this, why he is like this, I need to understand. Then you go to the source of that knowledge, right? Source of knowledge. Nothing is speculated, right? Even LKG, you have to study some books. Spirituality, how will you learn? You have to study from some authority. So, the point is when you are churning to find out that Supreme, like you said, right? I need to churn to find out the Supreme. Krishna is saying, I am here. Why are you churning? Right?
Yeah, we are, everyone says Krishna in themselves only.
So he is saying, I am there. Why are you churning? He says, Vedaischa sarvai aham eva vedyaha. The idea of all the readings, everything, ultimately you have to come to this conclusion to know me, the Supreme Lord. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, he is saying, Vedaischa sarvai aham eva vedyaha. That is one thing. The other one that he is saying is, Vasudevaha sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. One should finally come to this conclusion that Vasudeva is the ultimate. That means the Supreme Lord, right? We need to get to that God. So, the idea of this journey is to know me, but I am right now in your home as your child. Why are you journeying? Very poetic, right? He's trying to give that meaning to his mother. Therefore, she puts that thing off and then she goes. Takes him in his lap, and in fact, he's already claiming onto her lap very rightfully. This is my lap right now. I want to drink milk, and then she's feeding milk, and this competition is going on between Krishna, who is wanting to take the love of the mother, and the mother wanting to give the love to the child. This is going on. So milk is flowing from her breast. Like he doesn't have to suck only; it is just flowing like that, and he's drinking fast. This competition, who will satisfy who? Will his hunger get satisfied first, or will the mother, like he satisfies his mother's love? It's going on like this, competition is going on. At that point in time, in that pot, there's a gas stove or whatever stove is there, and she had kept a little bit of milk on that for boiling. And suddenly the milk starts boiling. It is actually boiling out, and when it boils out, what happens? The milk pours down, right? So she immediately puts Krishna down and runs to go and switch off that gas. Why will she bother about this little half a liter of milk when she is so important activity of feeding Krishna, the Supreme Lord, when she is doing this? Why would she do this? Because, as I said, that milk is very, very special. 9 lakh cows. From that 9 lakh, there are very few, like 3 or 4 very hybrid cows which she personally takes care and gives all the grass, takes all the, gives him bathing, everything she personally does, so that the milk from that is the most wonderful milk. That she wants to cook, to boil and give it to Krishna. Her mood is to give this nice service to Krishna, and that milk is boiling over. I am giving milk, that's okay, that can later give. She just puts the child down and she runs to that. There's some small things here also. This milk is, why is it boiling? Why should the milk boil? If I ask someone here, what we will say? Because there's enough temperature is there, milk's property is to boil, therefore it is boiling. Right? Scientists here will say this. But in spiritual world, milk is also conscious. In spiritual world, just like you are conscious, you means this body has something inside which is making you activated. You are activated by that energy. In spiritual world, everything is conscious. There is nothing dead matter there. So milk is also conscious. So now in that context, if you see, the milk actually is feeling, I am supposed to be the one who will have satisfied Krishna's hunger, but this fellow is drinking milk, his mother's milk so much, then my life will become a waste. So it is thinking like that, and it is actually committing suicide. You know, this is very high level thinking. Acharya gives such wonderful explanation. It is thinking, I will commit suicide. No, my life is wasted. I have no purpose now, because Krishna is not going to drink me. I will become stale because he is filling his mouth with his stomach with his mother's milk. And therefore, when she runs there, it thinks, oh, I disturbed this wonderful relationship. So it automatically subsides without Yashoda having to switch off the gas. So this is something which has been explained by the Acharyas. But in the meantime, what is done is done. That means Krishna was disturbed from his drinking. So naturally, any child, when he's seriously doing something and you pull out the toy from him, what happens? He creates a ruckus, right? Have you ever tried pulling out a toy from a child's hand? That's all. He will make such a halla gola, everybody will. Krishna also, when he is here as like behaving like a human being, he also then immediately creates such a thing, and he takes one stone and breaks that pot which she was churning. So much labor she was putting in, and this child takes it and breaks that pot in that anger. And then he realized, oh my God, I have broken this, now Amma will come and catch me, she will go to scold me or whatever, and he starts running from that place. So now she puts that milk down and then comes and sees that this is broken, and then the child is missing from that. Then she gets very angry. She says, okay, now. And she understands this has to be Krishna's work. So she tries to find out where is Krishna, and sometimes thieves leave some, what do you call, some evidence, right? Huh? Yeah, some clue. So when Krishna ran, somehow his leg somewhere touched some butter which is spilled. That not butter, that curd. So his footprints are seen, like walking into one room. So she takes one stick in her hand, she is very angry. Like, this guy is too much, this child is too much, it's too much of a brat, and I need to now teach him a good lesson. This is what she is thinking. And she takes that rod and she just goes after wherever this thing is. She goes in a very, without making any sound, she goes there, and Krishna has gone into one room and he's broken one more pot there, and he's taking the butter from there, and he's also eating and feeding it to all the monkeys out there. Like, you know. He's feeding them, and then he's also worried. Now I have done this, my mother is going to come and catch me. So he's very carefully watching the door all the time. So someone coming, just like I was watching, is there anyone going to come in? The class is starting, is there anyone coming? You know, natural, right? You know, what is hovering in our mind. So he's also expecting, is she going to come now? Is she going to come now? Like that. And then she comes without making any noise. She knows this fellow will anticipate that I will come. So she comes and suddenly appears in front of him like that with a stick. And Krishna was very surprised that she's come with a stick. She has never used a stick in, have like some of our parents also. If suddenly she takes a scale, how will we feel? Normally they don't, but one day when your father or mother takes a scale and that too shows it in this way, generally in our days sometimes we would get beaten like this, not like this, like this. So suddenly you get frightened. Then the child started running. Now Yashoda is running after the child. You know who's running? Krishna. Who's Krishna? Little louder. Yashoda's son. Beyond that? Parabrahma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a person who even death personified or fear personified is afraid of him, and here this boy is running with just because one woman who's just chasing with a small stick in her hand. Can you imagine? This is something which is extraordinary, right? How can the Lord, I talked about this journey, so many munis, many great saintly persons, they have spent thousands and thousands of lives to actually understand the tip of the toe of that Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's not easy, right? Now, if you have to think what is this, all this thing, who am I, what is this God, not easy something, it's not so easy. But such a person, we can't even, after so much of speculation, we can't even understand who he is. But this lady is actually running after him and he's running in fear out of her. That is something which is mind-boggling to think about. And Brahma is saying, what fortune this lady is. I don't have this capacity, neither does Lord Shiva. Can chastise this Krishna, right? Or even Lakshmi has not got this opportunity. But here Lakshmi, now today if you see women chase their husband with the spoon in hand, right? But Lakshmi was not able to do that to Vishnu. But this lady is just chasing this child with a stick in her hand. That is an amazing thing actually. Sukadeva Goswami writes about it. What a fortune. What elevated personality this Yashoda is. Simple, she does not know all the Vedas, all the Upanishads, nothing. She simply knows the love for that child, and that's all that matters. See, all that we are doing, right, all this efforts that we are putting in is only simply to create that loving relationship with that Supreme Lord. That's all. When you say Krishna consciousness, all this, there's so many various dresses, everything. Ultimately, the idea is to create that relationship with that Supreme Personality of God. Nothing. So all of us have to do that. There's no choice. Okay, I don't think I need to. Only this fellow has to do. No. Whatever be your position, you are a great politician, or you are a great sports star, or you are an academically qualified, that is all fantastic. But beyond that, we need to create the simple relationship with that Supreme Personality of God. And that is what we are trying to share with everybody, that this is an integral part of our life. We cannot take, okay, when I chalta hai, dekhenge, when I get time I will see. I am too busy now. No. That's all fine. Do we not eat? Do we not breathe? Oh, I am so busy now, I will not breathe today. How many of us are saying that? This is like morning you get up, you brush your teeth, right? Does anybody have to kajol you to brush my today? However busy we brush our teeth, right? Like this devotional life, that connecting to the Lord should be natural. We need to somehow create some time in our life to do this. Does it clear? That is the idea. So this idea of talking about this Lord is to bring that attraction, to make us understand, oh, He is that Supreme Lord and He is my well-wisher, Sudhudam Sarva Bhutana, and I need to acknowledge and I have to take that blessing from Him so that, I can go back to God. So she is running and he is running, and he runs out of the house. Inside the house means problem. She will somehow catch me, I will run out. There's an open courtyard there, so if I run out there, nobody can catch me. He's going, and maybe even if she catches, I can create some halagulla, and neighbors all will come and save me, like that. He's thinking and running. As he's running, somehow she catches hold of him. And then she's showing the stick and saying, I'm going to beat you, you rascal. As he runs, she's saying, you are a thief, you are a plunderer. Can you chastise the Lord like this? Would any of you dare? Call Narasimhadev, hey, you are a thief. Hiranyakashipu tried that. Right? Can any of us say such things? But she's telling, hey, you are a thief, you are a plunderer, you are a monkey, you are a friend of a monkey. She's saying all these things and trying to catch him, and then she catches him and that fear starts crying. Children have kajal, what do you call it? Normally, when he's crying, when you cry, what would your mother have done? When you are a child, when you are crying, what will the mother do?
Now that depends. So, some mother loves their child or some mother tries to pull.
They will give you a mobile phone.
Yeah, and they give them one more.
So that the child doesn't cry.
Yeah. Some mother
I have seen this. Crying means, okay, you give a mobile phone, then everything is sorted out. But generally the tendency of a mother is to immediately wipe the tears, right? You take the thing, you sari, tuck, tuck, you wipe it. Like this, Yashoda always does it. But today she is not doing it. So Krishna has not had this experience. When tears are flowing from his eyes, he never knew, he never has done it. So he himself does it. And all his kajal, everything actually becomes like messy in his face, and that looks so beautiful also. But she doesn't care. You rascal, you are so troublesome, you need to be chastised. She says, I'm going to tie you up for this. Just imagine the Supreme Lord to be tied up. So it's something which we can imagine. Can you and I do it? Ravana tried to do that. Hiranyakashipu tried to do that. Kamsa tried to do that. Everybody met their gory death. But this lady is trying to do the same thing.
Sir, Prabhu, can I ask some question on the basis?
On the
Basis of this,
let's finish this, then we can have this. Because I want to finish that aspect of this, then we can. I will certainly give time. I am having all the time in life today. Don't worry. So, after that, she catches hold of him and she threatens him. And when he started crying, then she throws away the stick. Okay, child is getting too much worried. But in her mind, while chasing him, and she is saying, no, you are a thief, you are a plunderer and all that, the child is saying, I will run away from home. You are saying I am a monkey's friend, no? I'll go to the monkey, you are trying to hit me, all this is happening as they are running. So she is thinking, once she caught us in, this child will now run away to the forest. Let me tie him up, she thinks. So she tries to tie him, but she wants to, discipline the child also. So she is trying to tie him, and at that point in time, she brings some rope and tries to tie him. And nothing is happening. Right? Then many of the gopis come. And what's happening? What's all this commotion? This child, they all know this boy does a lot of naughty things, but never he has been caught like this. There is once one of the gopis saying, Sikka Konda, he's got caught. This rascal, what he did once? She remembers that. I will tell you that past time. It's a very nice one. So once Krishna will be there in one of the gopis' house and he will steal butter. Just like Yashoda, this lady will also catch hold of Krishna red-handed. With the butter in hand in her, this one. Now she says, I will take you to Yashoda and prove that your son is a thief. She says, no, Amma, please leave me, forgive me, I will not do it again. I will teach you a lesson today, you come. So she drags him and then walks to Krishna's house. And all his friends are coming along with him, right? And he's the superstar going and everybody's friends are all running with him, thinking what's going to happen next. As she reaches the home there, she says, hey Yashoda, where are you? Why are you shouting? I'm here only, what happened? I caught your son red-handed today. I have brought him here. See, where is my son? See, she pulls and then there she sees her son. I caught hold of him and I am bringing him here. Why are you so obsessed with my son all the time? She is saying, Yashoda, my son, you see, innocently he is eating butter in my house. And then Krishna says, why you are making such a commotion here? He is coming like that in a very innocent way and she is looking there. And then she feels very bad. She says, your son has stolen in your house and you are obsessed with my son that you are thinking that is my son. Okay, no problem, anyway you go home. So she is feeling sad, what happened like this. And she is takes her son and puts him on her shoulder and she is walking back home. As she is walking home, someone taps her. The child taps her on her head. She looks up and there is Krishna sitting. And then he says, and she immediately puts the child down. And then Krishna says, see, I told you don't take me to my mother like this. This time it's okay. I became your son. Next time I will become your husband. So like this, there are many wonderful pastimes. One other time, Krishna was actually caught like this. Now that lady also tried to be like Yashoda. I want to tie up this Krishna. I will tie him up and then bring that Yashoda and show that your son is caught in my house thieving. Then she tries so much, but she cannot tie him. He says, Amma, what's your problem? Can't you simply do this tying business? Oh, I don't know, I'm not able to tie. Wait, you come here. You stand, I will teach you how to tie. She innocently comes and stands there like this. He ties her. He was saying, now this is how you have to tie me once away. So like this, many pastimes happen. So those all ladies come and say, now he's got his own mother. Now let's all have a wonderful game. Let's see what happens. They are trying to tie her, but Krishna is trying to, Yashoda is trying to tie her. But how much ever rope she's used from her house, she's not able to tie that Lord. See, the Lord, I mean, just imagine the Lord, he may look like a small child, but this entire earth itself is actually the Lord's form. Can you have a rope which can tie the entire, around the earth, the entire universe? It's all inside him. You remember that story Krishna showed? The entire universe in his mouth. If that is that personality, how can you simply tie him with a small rope? So she's trying to tie and she's not able to tie. And every time she adds some rope, she finds there's a gap. Then her friends bring so many ropes from their house. Everybody is bringing rope. But they are tying. His hip is like, Yashoda is thinking, his hip is only this much. But how is it that all this rope is not able to actually encompass his hip? Very amazed. Everybody is laughing, but she's saying, I will do it now. She's also laughing, but I know I will have to do it now. It's become a prestige issue. I can't tie this child, and everybody is watching and trying to say whether I will be able to do it or not. But somehow she's trying. Oh, literally for hours together she's trying. She's perspiring and all that. Every time she brings the additional rope, there is a small gap, and that gap is like 2 fingers. If this rope comes up to this point, this comes to this point, and the gap is 2 fingers. She's not able to tie this. So that is the 2 finger we are talking about today. So what we need to understand is why she is not able to tie this child like this. Why is there this 2 finger gap? So the Acharyas give a very wonderful explanation of that. What is Yashoda doing now? She is tying or trying. Trying, right? She is trying. That means it is her effort is there, right? She is perspiring. There is so much of effort she is put to tie this child. But why it is not happening? She is trying. No, all of you try hard to do whatever you want to do, right? In life, but trying.
She is holding on to that.
Huh?
She is holding on to the thought of.
Yes, she is holding on. She wants to do it. Very good. But why it is not happening?
Krishna's will is not there.
Krishna's will is not there. So the point is, these 2 fingers represent one, your effort, and second, the Lord's blessing. Right? So whatever we want to do in our life, we put all our efforts, but there has to be this cooperation by the Lord. He is sitting as Paramatma. He has to give you permission to do it. Otherwise you cannot do it. Even if it is murder. He gives permission also. Right? Some of the murderers, if they are murdering, there is a permission that they are getting. That is another science altogether. We will discuss it another day. These gentlemen invite me some other day to speak some things. But right now it is that, so these 2 fingers represent that. Therefore, we need to put in our effort to create that connection back with the Lord. But it is also the Lord's willingness to accept it. So it's not like, I go and show you a dupa and you should be obliged to me. Oh, you have shown me a dupa today, so I am so grateful to you. Krishna is not dependent on you and me. He is independent. But out of his costless mercy, he is accepting our devotional service. We should always remember this, not take it for granted that, I have got this opportunity to do this. So now your opportunity, therefore it's your opportunity to actually give me wealth, give me education. No. It is his completely prerogative, whether he wants to do or not, it is his wish. It's not like, it's grand, we can take it for granted. Therefore, these 2 things have to be there. That finally Krishna says, okay, she's trying so hard, my mother, I love her so much, I am agreeing that she ties me up. So she finally allows himself to be tied up by Mother Yashoda. So this is a great thing. How can someone tie up Krishna? So many hundreds and millions of people tried. And there is also this point that at this point in time, he is standing like in judgment. She is taking a decision whether to let you go or I am going to tie you up. Have any of you seen the Lord being judged? He is standing in that judgment, whatever that thing is. Can anybody do this to the Lord? In any avatars, you all spoke about various avatars. Where in any of the case, was he a subject of being judged? Did that happen? Never was he judged. Someone taking his fate. That now I will decide. No. But this is one area where he completely allowed himself to be bound up by a person, and that is simply because of the love. The relationship, if we are able to cultivate with the Lord gives himself to us. And generally when I say Lord, we don't take it for granted. It is such a supreme personality of God. We have so much gratitude for this film actor. Right? One film actor died recently. Many of us spent 2-3 days in very, very bad mood, right? Because we loved him so much, that gentleman, whoever passed away, right? Some people commit suicide because some politician is arrested or something. True. We see all these things. We have our affection for all these personalities. I am not belittling any of them. They may be great. But just imagine, think about the supreme personality of God. Right? Why not we have that affection for him? If we have that affection, he is saying, I will give myself to you. And that he demonstrated by this act of allowing Mother Yashoda to tie him. And therefore, all of us are also capable of coming to that platform of having Krishna as our friend, like Arjuna put his hand in his shoulder and he used to make fun with him. There's so many fun which Arjuna had with Krishna. Or Yashoda having this relationship, or Radha and all the other gopis having a very loving relationship with Krishna, or Hanuman having a nice servitude mood with Lord Rama. Whatever your mood is with the Lord, you can actually have that. And that is what the Lord is longing for actually. That we should. So we need to connect back to that Lord. So he allowed Mother Yashoda to do this. I will, some little later moments after this. Then Mr. Balram comes there. Who is Balram? Huh? Krishna's brother. Another, what is his original name? Seshna, right? Seshna, Adi Sesha. Now he comes and he says his brother tied up. He gets very angry. He says, you know who I am? I am Lakshmana. I will kill you. Who did this to my brother? He's very angry. I am Adi Sesha. I will destroy everything here, he says. And then his mother comes to him and says, what did you say? I am Adi Sesha. He says like this, I am Adi Sesha. And who is this fellow? He is the supreme personality of Godhead. And then she says, why all this avatar I have to take birth in my family only? Will you stop all this nonsense? She takes that stick. Do you also want to be tied up? That Balram, that Adi Sesha, immediately shuts his mouth and runs and goes to Krishna. I told you, why are you doing this in our own home? He is now chastising Krishna. Anybody else I would have actually chastised, but if mother is doing, how can I do this? It is your fault, Krishna. You are the one who deserve all these things. That way he is actually counseling Krishna. You should not do such things like that. Anyway, so this is happening, and then she ties him up, and then she leaves him to calm down for some time, then she goes away. How much more time is there? Or are we done? What's time? 7:30. What is the schedule? Prabhu, how much?
Now you will go
Okay. So I will end here. So this is a wonderful pastime where the Lord showed, forget I am God. I am actually your friend. You are like, to you and me is giving that message. Forget that, don't worry that I am God or anything. I have a longing to be your friend or whatever relationship you have. Please come into that relationship with me. And therefore, our idea of understanding all this is to develop that loving relationship with the Lord. So now I will take one or two questions. He had a question, so I will give him that first preference. Yes.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. I was listening to this story and I was wondering that mother-son relationship was going on there.
Yes.
So mother's love is there with the son.
Yes.
So what does it mean? I mean, if love is there, there's a pure love between mother and son.
Yes.
I want to understand in those terms.
Yeah. See, when you say love, basically you care for that person, right? Today when we say love, what do we mean? We see so many movies, a love story. What is that love? Actually, what is the meaning of word love? What's any of your views? What is love?
Guru Shishya relationship is seen the most profound love
No, I am trying to understand what that love means. Is it simply an attraction for something? That is how we understand, right? A boy says I love you, a girl says I love you. In one sense. But beyond that, what is the father says I love you to the mother, to the child?
Understanding that all is one.
No, not this. When I say I love you, I simply mean I will serve you irrespective of what you give me back. You see, real love means I will serve you, but I don't expect anything in return for you. You get it? I will serve you, but I don't expect anything from you. This is what I told you. The most purest form of love in this material world is love between mother and child. What the mother gives to the child. That's why I said, no, you may soak your dress so many times in a day. But has the mother ever bothered, even when she's sleeping, doesn't mind. She takes so much effort to come and clean the child's. Can you imagine doing for anybody like this? Removing their excreta, all that thing. Mala, you remove someone. Can't imagine. But the mother so judiciously does it, so nicely does it, without feeling whether I am tired or I am sleeping, this is very smelly. No, the mother never thought about this. So the purest form of love is always between mother and child. So that was what we also need to have with that Lord. And in this case, Yashoda Mataji had it naturally because that Lord became her son. That is love. And between mother and child, this wanting to serve that personality without expecting anything. Will the mother think, no, my son will become a great politician tomorrow? Right? In Tamil there is a saying, however handsome or however bad looking the child is, the mother always thinks the child is Karkaikku tan punju, pon punju. That means the mother thinks that crow child of mine is like golden. We think, oh, crow. But for the mother, that child is the most beautiful child. So Yashoda had that opportunity of having Krishna as the son. Like this, we can also have relationship with Krishna in different ways. And that is what we are supposed to come to at some point in time in our devotional life. Does it help in some way? So, what is your question? You are saying, what is love, right?
No, I was saying, Krishna can, whatever his age was, I don't know, he can say Yashoda Maki, see, whatever the things we talk about spirituality, the things can be there also, na?
Yeah, it is there. So what is your question? I'm still not able to get here.
Why Yashoda Ma? There's a karma ki mother is there and the children is there.
Yes.
Mother's duty is to take care of the children and be whatever good things in the life.
Okay.
Taught to the children. That's a karma of mother. And children's karma is to follow the agya of the mother.
Okay.
So I am thinking like this, and plus my second thought is that spiritual things that we talk about, and Krishna is supreme there in that story. Krishna can counsel her mother, you don't need to do this, all these things.
Okay, so you are saying if you are a God, why do you have to do all this? I don't need all these things, right? Why do you have to have this kind of a relationship? Why you have to come and serve me like this and all that? I am God anyway. Is that what you are saying?
Yeah, my first one is karma wala, mother's karma towards children, and second wala is that Krishna is there. Krishna can see to her. her mother, he, she, Krishna can reveal to her mother, ki,
Okay.
so why you are doing these things to me? You can be think about the Supreme is there only.
So the Supreme is himself. See, this is the problem, right? See, if Krishna today comes in front of you and says, I am Krishna, will you surrender to him?
Yes.
You will surrender?
Yes.
So Krishna is there right now here in our temple. Will you surrender to him?
I am already surrendered to him.
Surrender means you have to dedicate yourself completely.
I am already dedicated.
You are very okay. I am not at that level of dedication, so I will have to learn from you.
I am learning to dedicate. I understand we are part and parcel of him only.
No. So this is actually, I tell you, we are all part and parcel of everything, right? This is very, see, I tell you something. You have your mother, you have your father. They are all part and parcel of this universe. Why you want to give them food? You give me food.
I will give you.
Give a salary to me. Why you give it to only for your people?
That's my first duty to give to them.
So that means the problem is we are identifying with certain things as mine and certain things as not so much mine. You understand? So this is going on everywhere and we take everything for granted. You have to understand. If you say everything is simply karma and therefore I don't care, there's a relationship, right? You know, when I see you, I develop some kind of a nice feeling about you. Like, you know, because you are talking to me, I am talking to you. This I cannot have it with someone who is just walking on the road. There is some interaction with you which develops some nice taste for you between you and me. You understand? You understand that? That is what life is all about. It is not completely impersonal where I will simply have a stale face. I greet you and say, hello sir, how are you? Then there is no, it's why I have to care for that person, right? But as we interact with each one, there is some nice relationship which is building. Do you agree up to this point in time? Because you are with your parents, there is some kind of more affection for them than with me. Or if you are saying I am equal to everyone, then there is a different discussion. Be very frank. Are you equal to everyone?
I am trying to be.
You are trying to be, right? You are trying to be. But do you see something when you are nice to someone and that person is interacting with you? Is there some special feeling?
Yes.
You agree, right?
Yes.
That is actually the essence of life. Life means it is not like to be like the stool. It has no feeling. Whether I beat it or kiss it, it doesn't bother me. Right? But life is not that. Life is actually looking for that relationship. You understand? Then why you have to be animate like this? You can as well be like a wood. You are much evolved. You have these emotions. You need to connect with the whatever, other souls. And the center of all that other soul is the Supreme Lord. Therefore you connect. It is not impersonal. That person, that Supreme, if you connect to that, that is where your actual relationship starts. But we are trying to deny that. You think deeper, we are trying to deny that.
A lot of people do that.
Yes, that is exactly why I am telling you, you need to understand philosophy. Why we are taking time to do this? Because we have so many mental concoctions, right? What are you studying right now? Education wise.
I have done my BTech.
You have done your BTech. How many years you have taken to study this?
20 to 23.
20 to 23 years. And this thinking that, I don't have no attachment at all. You learn somewhere, right? How many years you have spent to learn that? Who are your teachers? Which university have you gone? To get this philosophy that I don't have any emotion to anything, I simply like a log, I should be. Seem to be one philosophy. Maybe that's one philosophy there. But then you have got that philosophy in your thinking, right? Where did you learn that?
Not through the society, through the universe only.
So can you say BTech I learned through the society?
Yes.
BTech through the society?
Yeah, through the help of society.
Through the help of society in an organized way, right? Like this, spirituality also, we cannot speculate. I hope you have all been hearing about this discussion. Very, very nice, Prabhu. You brought out these things because in our mind so many things are happening. I may be right, you may be right or you may be wrong. I am not getting into that. But I am trying to make a point that whatever I say or think, I need to validate that against some authority. Right? BTech when I am doing, I cannot speculate that this machine will work like this, right? You may have to take some authority, experiment it, understand it, then come to that conclusion. So, there is this line there which clearly talks about that we are not inanimate things, we are animate and we need to have this relationship with all the fellow beings, be it animals, whatever, that soul. But it will ultimately have that relationship connecting to that super soul. Without that connection, everything else is a waste. And that is what we are trying to develop, and that is what is called love. And that's what we are trying to develop. Little bit of a testing point by the way. Thank you very much. It's a very deep topic, and of course we can't solve it in one day. But I'm happy that we are touching. It's like a tip of the iceberg. Thank you very much. So shall we conclude here?
Hare Krishna. So we would like to thank very much His Grace Vidhur Madhav Prabhu from the bottom of our hearts for this wonderful enlightening session and for such wonderful discussion. So how do we thank? And one time chanting Hari Bol. So how many of you would like to hear from Prabhuji again and again? Hari Bol. So you can.
I'm sorry, I've taken a lot of time and sometimes it may have been boring, but I'm trying also. It's a big thing, we also are keep trying and maybe sometimes we can make some contribution to something. Thank you for bearing with me.
So we are very, very grateful to Prabhuji for agreeing to come and just share his experience and such loving pastimes with the Lord in Chaitanya Youth Festival. So we request Prabhuji to keep coming, we'll keep on inviting.
Yes, sure. It's a pleasure for me to be with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So just before, so now what is the schedule? We will go above to take darshan in the temple. We'll offer lamb to Lord Damodar and we'll have small kirtan. So before that, I think all of you must have got a small feedback form. So how many of you didn't receive the feedback form? Any of you? That you have not filled the feedback form?